Live. I'm going to check on a couple platforms just to check, make sure everything's working well. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great week. I thought it'd be kind of fun to pop on and do a quick cooking demo of something I was planning on making. And it's something I'm very excited about because I've never actually made it, and I've only had it at a restaurant, an Italian restaurant. So I'm going to be making caponata. That's how Alexa told me to pronounce it. I don't know if that's correct. It's that sweet, savory, sour vegetable stew that you can get at Italian restaurants generally. It's a Sicilian dish, I believe. It's a mix of eggplant and tomatoes and then like olives and raisins and onions and vinegar and deliciousness. And I found a slow cooker version, which really like intrigued me. One, because I can make it and hands off, I can walk away. And also, I don't want to heat up my house because it's hot. So I think that more people should be utilizing a slow cooker during the summer. So I wanted to show you guys this recipe. So let me just check to make sure everything is working okay. Okay, I'm live on Facebook. Excellent. And then we will get started. I want to check YouTube real quick and Instagram. But I haven't done a live cooking video like broadcasted in a while. And I want to do more because I really like them. It's fun. And I also I kind of just like to hop on and talk and cook. And I want to showcase that for you guys. So I thought this was a fun recipe. This recipe is from Ellie Krieger, the great, amazing Ellie Krieger. She's one of my favorite cooks, chefs, dietitians. And I will post a link to the recipe in like whatever platform you're watching in the captions or underneath the comments or whatnot. So it's a slow cooker caponata. I have my trusty slow cooker. It's probably 20 years old and I got it for $10 at Home Depot. So you do not need any kind of fancy equipment. You could also probably do this on the stove. You just want to watch the amount of liquid. You might need to add a little bit more so it doesn't burn. But I want to be able to like walk away after this tonight. So the ingredients for this, we're going to need white vinegar, olive oil, tomato paste, honey, or I'm going to use maple syrup because I don't have any honey, salt, pepper, what else? An eggplant. So I'm going to use a small Italian eggplant. Roma tomatoes, about a pound, or you could use a can of like diced tomatoes. 1 onion, chopped, celery. Now to add the dimension to this recipe, you're adding some golden raisins for sweetness, and then capers for that brininess, olives. I got some green olive, my favorite kind. And then you're going to garnish with pine nuts and basil. Why do I want to make this recipe? It's sometimes veggies get a little boring, right? And on their own, they don't taste great and we need to enhance them. If I ask my clients to eat more vegetables, I have to show them ways that makes them delicious. And this is a great take because it combines that love of sweet and salty and savory. It's easy. It just is a little different. You can have it with pasta. You could toss it into like pasta. I have some zucchini. So I think I'm going to grill some zucchini and then layer some like sliced mozzarella on top and then add this caponata on top of that. I think that will be delicious. And I might even grab like a baguette or a piece of whole grain bread. I'm not really sure yet, and toast that and kind of layer it and make a little sandwich. But you can generally you would eat with like toasted bread or as a side dish, or you could put it over like grilled fish or chicken. Pork would be good too. So there's a lot of ways that you can make this. And I think this is just an underutilized recipe. So let's get started. So we're going to start by making the dressing sauce that it comes with, that it wants you to make, I guess. I'm toggling between a couple screens. So I'm going to point you guys down and then go back to my recipe. All right. So I have a little dish. I usually also make things I save all my like jelly jam jars. So this is a great thing to make with dressings. But we're going to build the dressing in here. We're going to use a 1/4 cup of just white vinegar. Nothing fancy. Then we're going to add in that olive oil for that flavor. And then also the mono unsaturated fats, the antioxidants, helps reduce inflammation. And I should say that my husband is probably going to be home soon and my dog's going to go berserk. So I'm just warning you guys. Tomato paste. So this adds a lot of umami-rich flavors. It adds like a depth to the sauce. Also, the benefit of cooking down tomatoes, you increase the lycopene, which is the antioxidant in there. So it's actually really good for colon cancer prevention. So I'm just whisking this together. You could use a fork too. You don't have to have a cute little whisk, or you can put it in a jar. Now we're gonna have a little sweetener. 2 tablespoons of honey or maple syrup. So it's basically like a vinaigrette. Then we're going to add seasoning. I think it's important to remember you need to add salt and pepper to your food that you're making. Even adding salt and pepper to meals at home is not going to be nearly the same amount of salt that you're going to be encountering at a restaurant. If you're curious about that, check out some of the menus on some of the restaurants that you go to. Salt is crazy. So this is like a half a teaspoon. There's 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt and like a half a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. And I'm just going to guesstimate on that and give that a little stir. So that's it. That's the sauce. Okay, so now we're going to build all the vegetables and just throw them into this container. I have this eggplant. You could use, let me put you guys up so you can see. You could use like small Japanese style eggplants. Those are delicious. I found this small one because you don't need a huge amount. I find that the large eggplants don't taste as good, so I do like smaller ones. So the Japanese style eggplant or a smaller heirloom variety. Yeah, some of those are harder to find. You're going to find them at like the farmer's market or something like that. So I wanted to show cutting the eggplant because I know that this is kind of a vegetable not a lot of us utilize or know what to do with. This is a great application because eggplant has a lot of water in it. And if you saute it or you fry it, you have to drain the water out. Usually you have to salt it, put it in a colander, let the water seep down there, pat it dry. It's kind of finicky. But I like the idea of stewing this together, kind of like a ratatouille dish. So you're going to just kind of cook in its own vegetable juices. It's going to be delicious. So I'm just going to chop off the end. And maybe a little bit over here. I'm not going to peel it because a lot of the nutrition, the antioxidants, this purple color, this deep, gorgeous color is what's going to provide a lot of those antioxidants that we want to have. We're going to cut it into like 1/2-inch pieces. The size is it's more about because we're slow cooking this, right? It's going to be stewed down. It's going to break down. The size of the pieces is more about like the texture and the consistency that you want to eat it with. So you don't want like a huge piece because it might be hard to scoop up. As I'm chopping this, I'm throwing this into my slow cooker. You could also, if you don't have a slow cooker, you could also use, like if you have an Instapot or a pressure cooker, there's usually a slow cooker function on that. This is also would be delicious on a cheese board too, because you could pair this with like a fresh mozzarella. You could pair it with like a Parmesan, a goat cheese. I think a feta would be delicious with this. So if you are planning any kind of like fall parties or, I don't know, fall get-togethers, football parties, holiday parties, this would be a great addition. Get every last bit in there. See, my dog is going to go crazy. We'll just keep talking through it, basically. So this is a great way to boost your fiber. to help with your gut microbiome, which is going to feed that bacteria. Fiber is not for you, it's for your gut microbiome. It's going to feed the bacteria, it's going to help it grow and proliferate, and then that's going to help decrease inflammation overall in the body, which is amazing. Okay, next we're going to add in the rest of the vegetables. So as my husband comes home and comes inside, my dog's going to bark. I have like 3 large Roma tomatoes that I chopped up. I'm going to put into the slow cooker. A small onion. This is just like a white, I think it's a Vidalia onion. I chopped it up. I didn't want to do it on camera because I will cry. Now the last vegetable is I'm going to use some celery. This is the last bit of celery. And I don't want you to like ever throw this part away because these celery leaves are actually really delicious. I usually like to eat this inner part of the celery as like a salad because it's a lot more tender than the outer stalks. So if you have a whole head of celery and you can utilize those outer stalks, this is like the perfect time to use those because those are tougher. They're like stringier. They're good for like soups or stews that you're going to cook down. This is great for like snacking or salad. But I'm just going to chop this up. And you can utilize the whole part. You don't have to throw that away. So this is just going to go into the slow cooker. All right, let me just check the recipe and see if we got everything. Okay, now we're going to add some more of the flavoring agents to it. The olives. I like these, like Italian olives, the green ones. They're really delicious. So you need like 3 tablespoons of chopped olives. How am I going to get this out? If you don't like olives, you can not put them in. I know not everybody's a fan. So if you don't add the olives, you're going to want a salty component, I think, to help balance the flavors. And that's when I would think of like using a cheese like a feta, or maybe you're going to increase the salt slightly. Or you could use something like another pickled vegetable. You could add that in there. So I'm just going to slice. I want to chop this because I want to make sure that the olives kind of get into every bite. You could also use capers too. There's usually, this recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of capers, but I didn't want to buy capers because I probably won't use the whole jar. So I'm going to add in actually a few more olives since I'm not doing capers. Okay, and dump that in. All right, now to play with the sweetness, which might sound a little weird, but we're going to add the golden raisins. I've never made it with regular raisins, so I don't know. I think that would be fine. These are actually, golden raisins just taste better, I think. So if you think that you don't like raisins, I feel like just go buy some golden raisins, give it a try. They're sweeter. I don't know. They just don't have like as much of a raisiny flavor. So 1/3 cup of those. And let's see what else. So I got all my veggies in there. I have my eggplant, my tomatoes, my onions, my celery, my raisins, my olives. And we're just going to pour this vinegar mixture on high, over top and turn on the slow cooker. It's that easy. I'm going to post a picture of this on all the platforms too, so you can see what it's like afterwards. And I'll show you. It's going to kind of look like a ratatouille if you've ever had that. and I could give you some ideas on how to eat it. But I like this because it's kind of a good vegetable base, a good way to increase fiber throughout the week and a diversity of plants. And then you can eat it in multiple applications as well. Okay, that's it. That's all we're going to do. And then now I'm going to put it in the slow cooker. And it's going to go on high for 2.5 hours. That's it. I'm going to transfer to a bowl to cool completely. What I'm going to do is I'll probably, to help it cool down really quickly, I'm going to take like my 9x12 baking dish and put it in that and kind of spread it out to allow more surface area, let that cool in the counter, and then pop that in the fridge. And then I can transfer it if I want into a smaller bag, or I can even put it into Ziploc bags and freeze that for later, because I'm probably going to be the only one in my family that eats this, and that's okay. This will freeze just fine once it's cooked. So I'm very excited about this. I can't wait to eat it. Again, I think I'm going to do the grilled zucchini layered on something like a baguette with some melted mozzarella cheese, some of this, and I think it's going to be delicious. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys like these videos. I love coming on and just sharing these random recipes that I'm trying out. Yeah, and make sure that you, I will send a link to, I will add a link underneath everything in case you want to sign up for my monthly cooking demos that I do. So you can be a part of this. I do them via Zoom, so you can ask questions, you can have the ingredients and prep along with me. So yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.